big Ubisoft. Welcome back. Now we're going to take a look at a game that all of IGN is really excited about, Alien Isolation. Alistair here is going to show it off for us. We were just talking before we started that I just recently rewatched Alien and Aliens, but is it true this game is a little more similar to Alien, the original? Is that
Absolutely.
Right?
I mean, I think video games based in the franchise in the past had been really inspired by the sort of James Cameron Aliens experience.
The action movie.
Yeah, absolutely. But it felt like no one had really kind of tapped into that first film, and so this is where this was our kind of starting point for Alien Isolation.
So set this up for us.
Yeah, so this is a glimpse of a new part of the campaign that we're showing at E3. In this section, Amanda, the character you play, is trying to reach one of her colleagues, which is who is somewhere else in the station. But
Amanda,
obviously, she finds that actually getting to him is actually much harder than she expected.
Sure. Now, Amanda is Ripley's daughter, is that correct?
Absolutely, yeah. That was a sort of a real jumping off point for us. We realized in Amanda we had this amazing character whose story hadn't been told, and it was Ellen Ripley's daughter, and what would happen if she were to confront the same horror.
Well, she's actually part of the canon because in the director's cut of Aliens, you find out that Ripley had this daughter.
So that was the amazing thing.
Yeah.
She existed, but we kind of take up her story. Yeah.
Very cool. Now in this game, there's only one alien, right?
So going back to the kind of the vision behind the game, it was what would it be like to experience Ridley Scott's original Alien, something that was massive and terrifying and really intelligent. In the first movie, just one alien manages to annihilate almost the entire crew. And so what would it be like to actually be confronted by that and actually have a kind of a different experience, that wasn't about it wasn't about killing, it wasn't about trying to destroy the alien, it was just about trying to survive. And so here you can see that the players they're very much underpowered and underprepared. They don't have a great deal of firepower, and so here they're using the environment to their advantage by hiding in a locker. Now here the alien suspects something's inside that locker, but by holding your breath you can you don't give yourself away, and hopefully the alien should move on, which I think he has. Yeah.
So this should take place in between Alien and Aliens.
Yeah. So the story for Alien Isolation takes place 15 years after the Nostromo goes missing. Wade and Yutani believe that someone has found the black box flight recorder of the Nostromo, and they send a really small crew to simply go and retrieve it from a very remote deep space station, and Amanda volunteers to be part of that crew.
And you can track the aliens' whereabouts?
To some degree. We didn't want any kind of sort of magic mini map that always gave you perfect amount of information. I really wanted something that in the motion tracker that was something you actively had to use. You had to actually bring it up and focus on. But it's an imperfect device. It doesn't really, the alien can be in the walls, in the ceiling, it can be in the floor, as well as obviously in the space with you. But it only gives you so much information. And again, that all plays into the sort of approach where technology isn't the answer. Firepower isn't the answer. You've got to use your wits. You've got to use whatever's at hand, your resources. You can explore the world and collect items. And when you combine those in our crafting system, you can create some quite interesting tools and devices, which, if you use them in the right place at the right time, kind of changes the odds and improves your chances of survival.
So what is this environment we're exploring? Where are we?
So we're in a kind of medical facility. It's obviously very reminiscent of the first film with the kind of white padded walls.
It reminds me of the Nostromo.
Yeah. So I think one of the reasons I really wanted to place the game so closely to that first movie was that I really wanted to take advantage of that amazing sort of lo-fi sci-fi aesthetic. This real 70s view of a used future. I'd like to think that whoever built the Nostromo could have potentially been in the space station business as well, and there's a lot of crossover here. We do have some weapons in the game, but again, it's all down to player choice. There is for example, there's a pistol, but firing a pistol is going to make a lot of noise and it's going to attract attention, a lot of kind of unwanted attention. Likewise, we're just revealing that we also include the iconic Flamethrower from the first movie.
I was just going to say, flamethrowers have always played a big role.
Yeah, well, as Ash says, most creatures are afraid of fire, and that's we're staying true to that approach. But again, the flamethrower, is a kind of explosive weapon, but it burns the fuel very quickly and will only buy you some time. It's a kind of weapon of last resort.
I like this depth of field effect that's happening here, where
so one of the, again, we really wanted to make every action the player had have some meaning and really make them really think about what they're doing. So really wanted to give every action some kind of cost or risk associated with it. So you can use the motion tracker, but we blur the background, so you remove some information.
Gotcha.
You can toggle between the background and foreground, but again, there's no kind of magic bullets.
Sure.
So here we've come across some human survivors. They're in the same predicament as the player. They're desperate to survive, and they're equally unpredictable. So here the players brought out a noisemaker, which they've crafted earlier. Now that's this strange device with 2 speakers and circuitry. The player could use this and throw it into the world, and that it would start making a lot of noise and attract a move that character would probably be attracted to it. Likewise, we do have this rather brutal and explosive Molotov, which you could use if you wanted to, but again, there's a lot of drawbacks to using these things, not least causing a lot of noise and bringing the alien down.
So there's just one alien, but do some of the other humans prove to be enemies as well?
Absolutely. So, like I said, they're very unpredictable. You need to be very cautious around them. Sometimes they're a real positive influence and benefit to the player, but again, they're very desperate to survive, very jumpy, very nervous, and so. The AI, all the entities in the game are running under they're taking the same approach to the AI, that they're using their senses, and so you have these amazing emergent stories where the different characters unexpectedly come into contact with each other, and things can escalate really rapidly. So here the players found themselves in this kind of plant room, which has all been powered down, and so there's a kind of a puzzle as to how to get things started again. So again, kind of exploring the world pays off, but unfortunately, it also by powering up the systems, we release one of the Season synthetics. They're a kind of an android type character.
Very cool.
Now, Season is the corporation that runs the station. They're way behind in the tech race. So they're not capable of producing androids in the same sort of form as Ash from the first film. And these guys are equally unpredictable. Again, they can be a benefit, but or even neutral to the player, and frustratingly so. Or if things aren't going well, they can actually be an obstacle to the player as well. So again, it's all about it's about information, about trying to understand at every given moment what the potential threats are in your immediate vicinity, what you have at hand, what can you build. Do you want to take the risk of using the weapons, but without knowing what the end result will be? Giving the player a huge amount of player choice, even down to navigating through the world. Do you want to use the vent system? You can crawl through the vents, but again, that's the kind of domain of the alien as well.
Sure. So what's our objective right now? What are we trying to do?
So here we're simply trying to escape. Like I said, the world is a kind of obstacle to the players, a kind of puzzle. Here the players, so they've powered on the system and they're now trying to hack the terminal. So we have this very kind of lo-fi interaction.
Doesn't look good.
Okay. So the synthetic is obviously trying to protect the system. So we can try and use some firepower. And it looks like the revolver isn't going to stop it.
It's like they have the same sort of milky blood substance.
Yeah, absolutely, yeah. And fire seems to be immune to fire as well. So we're going to have to change tactic. And I suppose that's a kind of fundamental part of the game as well. You're having to constantly reassess and change strategy depending on the situation. So here the player's got an EMP in mind that they built earlier. If we set that off, that should stun the synthetic, and we can go in and hopefully finish it off. Okay, but of course we've just made a huge amount of noise, but it looks like we've got away with it.
We're here in a very brightly lit showroom floor with a lot of people around, but I'm still feeling very, very tense.
Well, this is the amazing thing for us, right? We've been working on this game for over 3 years, and we play it every day. But because the AI is kind of emergent and unpredictable, even when we play it, our hearts are thumping because we don't know what's going to happen next. It's every encounter is almost like a first encounter for us.
So we just saw some crafting mechanics.
Yeah. So again, using the things you find in the world, exploring, that sort of investment in exploration pays off, and it looks like they've just healed themselves after that encounter. Right. So now we can go back and try and attempt the hack again. So yeah, I mean, the visual sort of presentation and the lo-fi sci-fi also extends to the UI and things like this hacking game. We really wanted to try and keep true to the spirit of that sort of lo-fi sci-fi 70s view of the future. So it looks like we've had a small success, and I think horror is about having those sort of small victories, the sort of sense of okay, I can make it if I can just keep going. Right, so we've now set off looks like they've set off the evacuation system, which means that all the doors will be unlocked. But of course, we've now made a huge amount of noise, and we were going to attract potentially a huge amount of attention. And I think you probably heard the alien arrive. Right, so the aliens arrived, and there were a few more survivors. Now they've opened fire on it. Now that could be a really good thing because they're now. There's a confrontation going on, so hopefully as a player you might be able to sneak by and not get spotted. So I think we should be able to make a move. Oh no! Okay.
We're gonna hide.
No, we didn't make it.
Oh my god! Not a happy ending to our demo.
That was. I think we weren't cautious enough there. We should have used the motion tracker to check where the alien was. So if we go again.
Are there numerous sort of death animations, different ways the alien can kill you?
It was obvious, I think.
Yeah.
We knew the player was going to die quite a bit, and so we want that to be a part of the experience. Yeah, so here looks like the player is going to hide, which is a completely valid option. And let's see what happens. Yeah, so the aliens just run past. I guess it's discovered the humans again. So it's about using any means necessary to survive. It's not about weaponry. It's about taking advantage of the things around your immediate vicinity. So we have this kind of cool peek function, which allows the player, again, to get a little bit of information without breaking cover, getting behind things. One of the things we're showing at E3 on the Oculus stand is our prototype of Alien Isolation on Oculus Rift, which is just a phenomenal experience. And because of the new hardware, it becomes a really physical experience. So in that situation where you were hiding, you can now tilt your head and actually really intuitively navigate through the world and peek and peer to try and gain some advantage.
The lighting or lack thereof also helps to make things really tense.
Yeah. I mean, we really wanted to create a really immersive experience. It's about the lighting, it's about the effects, it's about the sound. Sound's a massive component of the experience. Now I think here the humans have been keeping the alien preoccupied, so we should be able to make a break for it. You see there the ship's shaking, the station. It's a very unstable place, very dangerous, and it's a physically dangerous place. Again, the motion tracker is in a way your main weapon. It's the thing you can fall back on. Right, there's the exit up ahead. Let's try and get out of here.
Yeah, maybe just make a run for it.
Yeah, let's go. Right, okay. I think we made it.
Nope.
What's that?
Very cool. Alien Isolation. I think it looks awesome.
Great,
I can't wait to play.
Lovely.
Alistair, thank you so much for
Thanks
bringing it
so much.
by. It's out October 7th.
October 7th.
Cool, very cool.
Thanks a lot.
Stay tuned, lots more to come here on IGN Live at E3 2014.